The groups trigger me constantly because you've got 100 or 200 people projecting all sorts of emotions at you.
So how do you manage that?
I don't manage it.
Okay.
I just go into it. So at the moment I can feel like there's probably a third of you are sort of on the lines of, yeah, I reckon he might be Jesus. Three-quarters, the other 2/3 or just a bit under 2/3 are, I don't know about this. Like there's a lot of those kind of emotions coming. And later you'll find there'll be lots of emotions coming from you that I'll identify as we go through. And what I'm trying to do every single time is just allow myself to feel what's going on all the time. It may trigger me now and then I have to go home and maybe spend a whole week dealing with something as a result. That's happened many times. Like I've had groups where, one half of the audience has just gotten up and walked out. And of course that has an effect on them, right? Because if I've got emotions of unworthiness or whatever within me, they get triggered straight away. And then I've had where people have got up and projected lots of anger at me, and I go home confused because I'm saying, I just did a free session, and they're angry with me. Like, how can you be angry with someone who just give you something for free? So I'd go home and process that emotion, and feel all those emotions as they're coming up. So the key thing is to allow yourself to feel everything you're feeling at the time you're feeling it. That's the most powerful thing, but not always easy.